Yeah. Man, oh man. Dude, this is super boring. I've beaten you like 40 times.
Yeah, dude. We need someone else to play with.
You should get on Lamplight and invite someone else.
That's a good idea.
Man, 41 times in a row.
Someone's at the door.
So, dude, heard you need a player 3.
Since the dawn of man, the human race has been driven by the desire to be part of a group. From the earliest caveman tribes to today's interconnected world, the need to socialize has been a major driving force in human development. And it's never been easier than today with smartphones, internet, and social media to connect with someone. Despite all of these technical advances, however, the charm of communicating face-to-face with someone has never truly gone away. No amount of social media will ever be able to replace something like hosting a party or meeting your friends for coffee. So in this digital world, a need has arisen to bridge real-life interactions with our robust social media. That bridge is Lamplight.
You may wonder, what is Lamplight? Well, Lamplight is a simplistic social media platform. It's an application designed for college students or small communities, right? It allows people to get together easily with friends and hold small events. And people can easily see what anyone else is doing without even having to ask them, right? Now, why is this necessary? Well, today, especially if you don't see your friends that often on a daily basis, it's hard to know when your friends are available, when your friends can do stuff, and if you want to hang out, do you want to just call up your friends, or do you want to see beforehand and not have to interrupt them in case they're doing something important? There's a simple way to share events with your friends as well. Say you want to host a party, right? You could go around texting people, but again, what if they're busy? What if they need to do something? What if you don't have their number, right? All these things can get in the way. Lamplight solves a lot of these problems.
The main competitor for Lamplight is an app that exists on the Android Play Store called Down to Lunch, which consists of one large button which, if pressed, notifies people on your friends list if you're down to have lunch or not. Another competitor that Lamplight faces is Facebook's integrated event planner and more traditional social media such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, anything that has a direct message function, really. Now, the advantages that Lamplight has is that it finds a middle ground between the complexity of Facebook's event planner and the simplicity of Down to Lunch and traditional means such as simply messaging your friends. Messaging your friends one at a time can be a hassle. Starting a group chat for a small event may be overkill. And Facebook's event planner while it's robust, it really has too many features for a small event and isn't very intuitive for spur-of-the-moment events like that. Down to Lunch, while it's incredibly intuitive and simple to use, is very bare-bones and doesn't really give you the option to customize your event. Lamplight aims to bridge the gap between these two fields by making an app that's easy to use, simple, has robust features, and works great. Prior to the creation of Lamplight, 23 college students were surveyed about their interest in an app similar to Lamplight. College students, of course, being our target demographic. Of the 23 students, users who had never used an app such as Down to Lunch gave it an average interest rating level of 3.22 out of 5. while users who had already used apps such as Down to Lunch gave an average interest level of 3.75 out of 5. Obviously, this shows that people who have used apps such as Down to Lunch are looking for something a little more robust and feature-packed.
There were two branches to the development of Lamplight. The first was the development of the app itself, and the second was the development of its associated database API. The application itself was coded in Java and XML layout files using Google's Android Studio. In order to test this application, we used the Android debug bridge as well as a physical device, such as this one. The application runs on all versions of Android later than 4.0, which is today approximately a little over 95% of all devices on the Google Play Store. Before developing and integrating the database API, we used hard-coded data to build and test the application. The database API is hosted on Google Cloud Platform on a .appspot domain. The API was coded using Python 2 and Google App Engine's Web App 2 framework. In order to test the API, we used the Google Developer Console as well as a regular browser for GET requests. In order to submit POST requests, we used an online platform called Hurl.it. All of the code for both the application and the API was stored on a local GitHub repository throughout development. Thank you.
The work plan. This is how we divided the work to where we weren't finishing it all under a tight 1-week deadline. We started off identifying the inception phase. This is where we decided on what our concept for the app would be. We went through many ideas and finally landed on Lamplight. We went through the associated difficulties, and Lamplight was the easiest with the most functionality. After we decided on Lamplight, we identified the 4 main use cases. These are cases that need to be met in order for the app to work. There are setting statuses, viewing statuses, making an account, and adding and inviting friends. Setting status. This is the main use case. Without this is simply an app that lists your friends, which you can easily do by going through your Facebook friends or contacts. This was the top priority, and it was finished during the first iteration. Our next use case is viewing statuses. Without this, you were simply able to put in your mood into your phone and that's it, but your phone doesn't really care how you feel. So you must be able to view your friends' statuses in order for the app to work. This was the second phase. This was done during the second iteration. Next is making an account. Without an account, there's no way to differentiate the users from one another, and it's crucial for the application to work. Otherwise, one's change status would affect everyone's change status. And finally, adding and inviting friends. No one wants an app that doesn't allow them to communicate with others unless it's a game. Without this, you are simply setting your status and looking at nothing. This also eliminates the need for advertising, since you would simply invite the friends you would like to use this app.
Some of our milestones associated with Lamplight are identifying use cases, completing the domain model and class diagrams, opening the app, integrating the app with the database API, and implementing our 4 main use cases of setting a status, viewing a status, finishing the login and new account, and implementing the invite friend via third-party app. To test the app, we tested it during our 4 main iterations. Before any coding was done, we sent out a survey. Lamplight was run through tests after all iterations. Our main 4 iterations included the implementation of each of our 4 high-risk use cases. Lamplight was tested after each new feature was implemented.
2.
Thank you for watching our presentation.